We try to bring you high quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We gotta add a little addendum to the show map today. So we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. It always has been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government has been getting bigger. Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your weekdaily morning show where we bring you the latest in everything Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about how Bitcoin's dominance has absolutely become dominant. Yes, in fact, Bitcoin's dominance has rallied above 50%, up from where it was around 39% pre-FTX collapse on November 8th of last year. Ever since that point in time, that massive rally on the Bitcoin dominance is telling us one thing, and that is the exact same thing that Michael Saylor has been saying over the last couple of days. So we're going to talk about what he's been saying. We're going to talk about why I absolutely believe that he's right, and we're also going to expound upon the fact that Bitcoin is here to stay and that it is going to be the dominant cryptocurrency moving into the next decades as we continue pushing forward this idea of financial sovereignty. As I said, welcome to Coffee and Crypto. My name is Jeb McAfee. I've been doing technical analysis here in the cryptocurrency market for nearly 6 years. July 31st, 2017, I got into crypto. That will be 6 years here in a couple of years, and I've managed to watch not over, but almost half of the history of cryptocurrency from a chartist point of view. And so I've learned a lot about what Bitcoin is doing, and I'm very excited today to bring you today's video and today's episode of Coffee and Crypto because I believe I'll really be able to bring some value to you and to your trading portfolio. One of the things that we talk about consistently here every single day is the why that we're here, the unifying message that we all rally behind, and that is the concept of financial sovereignty. To break down financial sovereignty for you, it is this. Very simply, I believe that we were put on this earth to have sovereignty and control and dominion over the things of this world, not necessarily other humans, although some people are purposed to be kings, but over the things in our world. We're supposed to be having dominion over our finances. We're supposed to have dominion over our body. It's our temple, right? We're supposed to have dominion over our possessions. We're supposed to have dominion over our relationships, not in an authoritarian, dictatorial way, but in a servant's way. We are supposed to have authority and control over these things that we've been entrusted with, and finances are one of them. We are supposed to have the control over our finances, that we would steward them properly for the betterment of ourselves, for others, and for the kingdom of God, and whatever it is that you are purposing your finances towards. And I firmly believe that cryptocurrency investment can help you to become financially sovereign, but financial sovereignty is not just about making a change in your finances. It's also about making a change in your education and in the spiritual and character side of yourself and who you are. Because for you to become financially sovereign and to be free from financial bondage, you are going to have to become consistent. You're going to have to become disciplined. You're going to have to become timely, integral. You're going to have to budget. You're going to have an education in all things pertaining to finance. And so I want to help you guys to reach that wonderful state of being financially sovereign, because when you get there, it is an incredible feeling. It's an incredible feeling to drop a 30-pound dumbbell on your smartphone just the other day, last Thursday, I think it was, last Wednesday, I dropped a 30-pound dumbbell on my smartphone. It's a $1,100 Galaxy Pixel 6. I bought it, back when it was new. Had to buy a new phone. That day, I was able to do that because we were financially sovereign and we had savings in place for stuff like that. We had the money there that when I had to go buy a new phone, I didn't have to set up payments. I was able to buy it in cash, get a really nice screen protector, really nice phone case, make sure that it didn't happen again. That's why I've got like the best OtterBox you can possibly buy on this thing now. I switched to iPhone. The money was there when I needed it. When you've got medical bills come out, the money's in the bank account. When you need a new phone, the money's in the bank account. When you tear an ACL and you need to go to physical therapy for 6 months, the money's in the bank account. I want you guys to have that financial sovereignty, and that's what we're pushing for every single day. So let's go ahead and read some chat. Really appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. Paul Torelli was first, said good morning. Good morning to you as well. Sean O'Brien in chat said, hey, Mario De Leon. I love your name. I love saying it. Said, good morning, crypto fam. It always reminds me, Mario, your name always reminds me of Don Juan Ponce de Leon, the person that discovered Florida. Named it Florida. I could be wrong on this, but I believe he named Florida after La Florida, which means flower. The flower. Somebody I know, Crypto Surge. You speak Spanish, so my wife's out there. I'll ask her, but I'm pretty sure that's what Ponce de Leon named it after. So shout out to all the De Leons out there. I went to high school with a guy with the last name Leon. Joe Bollier's in chat. Mach 5 ETH said, let's freaking go. Philly Skills 1428 in chat. Dan Nolan said, run now. Oh my said, hi, good morning. Rave Song Record said, good morning, Jeb. Beautiful morning. Alex Nivo said, good morning. Huge said, I've got a real good feeling. You almost got me there. Almost got me there. CW said, buenos dias. Colorado sending some coffee and crypto love this morning. Love to see it. Crypto Surge said, Buenos dias, mi amigo Jeb. Buenos dias, ¿cómo está? Beta Bot in chat, Michael Parsons, Shadrach Frost, Eric Taylor, and everybody else that I didn't shout out. Thank you guys so very much. Let's go ahead and make sure to hit that like button, and let's go ahead and jump on over to CoinMarketCap, because, of course, today's topic has a lot to do with Bitcoin market dominance, so where better to start than over on CoinMarketCap? Nowhere else. Right now, Bitcoin is up 1.22% over the last 24 hours. Everything else in the top 10, barring Solana, is down. This kind of makes my point pretty clearly. The last 7 days, Bitcoin is up 3%. Ethereum is down 0.11% in the last 24 hours, down 0.88% in the last 7 days. Tether sideways, of course. Binance is down 1.27% in the last 24 hours, down 0.6% in the last week. XRP down 2% and 9% respectively. Cardano down 0.6 and 7% respectively, down 7% in the last 7 days. Dogecoin is down. Solana's up marginally, but a lot of that has to do with the fact that it dropped so far because of the FTX meltdown that its charts are still functioning a little bit differently. Tron is down. And Tron actually reminds me, of course, it's not Tron, it's Terra USD, but just a little bit of kind of like a market recap news event for you that you guys can go and look in yourselves. This is kind of just one of those news stories that's interesting, but it doesn't really pertain to it doesn't really do anything to the market. Do Kwon was just sentenced to four months in jail in Montenegro, so you can go look into that. I'm not going to go too much into detail on that today, but you can see the pictures of him getting out of the police car and all that. So he was sentenced for 4 months. $60 billion vanish in 4 months. So justice. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know how much of that was exactly his fault and how much of that was just technology that went bad. There's a lot of debate going on in that space that I don't really care to get into, because we're here to talk technicals and fundamentals and fence off. All right, so let's go ahead and jump back on over to CoinMarketCap, and I want to show you the Bitcoin market dominance. We're currently back below 50%, but briefly, depending on which chart you look at, Bitcoin did shoot up above 50%. You can see Bitcoin's market dominance here going all the way back to 2013 is quite substantial. You can see in 2017, during the 2017 bull market, we saw market dominance for Bitcoin drop off a cliff from 86% all the way down to a low of 39%, cut in half. That was largely as a result of the rise of Ethereum. And with the rise of Ethereum also came the rise of XRP. You can see here that Ethereum's market dominance before that movement was at 7%. By the end of that movement here in middle 2017, this is basically exactly when I got into the cryptocurrency space. This is June 17th. I got in July 31st. This is about a month and a half before I got in. Ethereum was almost about to flip in Bitcoin, and there was plenty of conversation that was started at that point about a flippening. Of course, Bitcoin and Ethereum's market dominance has never been so close before, never been so close again ever since. But that conversation has continued to be a light, and you can also see that XRP was relatively high at 9% there, and the others were very high as well. Then, moving here into January of 2018, we can actually see the others category very briefly, very briefly. Believe I can get it up right here. I don't know if I'm even going to be able to show you. Right here, you can see the others category actually surpassed Bitcoin for the first and only time in history. Then moving into 2019 and 2020, we saw a massive resurgence in Bitcoin market dominance, rallying it all the way up to 2/3 of market cap. That made sense because a lot of those altcoins were nigh dead. They were having some development, but for the most part, the developmental approach to those altcoins had stopped, and Bitcoin not really needing a lot of development to do what it was programmed to do, because it's pretty much already functional, fully able to accomplish its mission, even if it's not as scalable as we'd like it to be. Bitcoin's market dominance continued to rally, and this starts to bring us into these conversations of what Michael Saylor's been talking about, what I've been talking about. Michael Saylor's a Bitcoin maxi. I'm not, although I'm more in that direction than a lot of people. But one of the things Michael Saylor's been talking about at length is the fact that we have seen a substantial amount of flight from the altcoins ever since FTX, and especially ever since the SEC lawsuit. If we look here into the more recent term memory, we're going to see that even just over the last couple of weeks, we've seen a relatively large drop-off in those altcoins market dominance. So here, let's go back to June 5th, when the SEC's lawsuit actually began. Right before that, so June 6th, this is before we started seeing movements on market dominance. Bitcoin was sitting at 45.82% on market dominance. Others was sitting at 14.9%, Ethereum sitting at 20%, etc. If we move forward here, Ethereum has lost 0.7% market dominance. Others has lost about 1%. Everything is shaved about 0.5% off the board and added to Bitcoin. Again, depending on how you calculate it, Bitcoin's market dominance is sitting anywhere between 48.5% and 50%. Now, if you don't include the 25,000 other cryptocurrencies and you don't include everything out of the top, say 1,000, then yes, Bitcoin has passed 50% market dominance. Regardless of how you look at it, the point is Bitcoin's market dominance has hit its highest level in over 2 years. Bitcoin's market dominance has not seen these levels of just shy of 49% since 2021 in April. We have not seen levels that high in a very long time. And the reason that we have not seen levels that high in a very long time is because the market dominance level on Bitcoin started to jump off a cliff during the previous bull market. If we look here over the last on the daily chart and look at when that market dominance started coming down, it started coming down right around here. You know why the market dominance started coming down right around here? Right around this area in April and May of 2021? The reason was because Bitcoin paved the way. A principle that you need to remember about cryptocurrency is that every single bull market in history, bar none, Bitcoin has started that bull market. Every single one of them. Every single one of them. Bitcoin has started the bull market. That's likely to happen again. And the reason for that is very simple. Bitcoin's value proposition is, number one, the easiest to explain. Number two, it is the simplest to create technologically. It's already developed. And number three, it is the use case that has the broadest possible application that is not conceivably developmentally possible in some other way. So let's just kind of talk about those. Let's start with that last one. Bitcoin is one of the only projects in the cryptocurrency space where you can't do what you do with Bitcoin with centralized technology. You cannot build Bitcoin on centralized technology. You can build a DEX on centralized technology, and it's just a CEX. It's a centralized exchange. Same product. The only difference is the decentralization. And the decentralization is an afterthought in most altcoin projects, and it is something that the altcoin project says, okay, we're going to try and get that, but that's not our number one. Bitcoin, the core functionality is decentralization. The core value proposition of Bitcoin is that it's decentralized. Hear me here. The core value proposition of Bitcoin is not that it's digital currency. The dollar's been digitized for 70 years. Maybe not 70 years, about 50 years. You've been able to send dollars back and forth via internet protocols for decades. If you want to go back in time and you want to say it's digitized in that you can send it, transmit the dollar over distance, we've been able to send dollars on telegraphs for over 100 years. So the digitization of currency is not the revolution that Bitcoin came out with, and that is not why Bitcoin has value, because you can send just about any currency digitally. You can send gold digitally, not the physical gold, but you can send the ownership certificate of the gold digitally in the same way that you can't digitally send a physical US dollar bill, but you can send a representation of a US dollar bill sitting in a vault somewhere, or a fake dollar sitting online somewhere instantaneously. You can do that without Bitcoin. You've been able to do that for a very long time. The thing that made Bitcoin revolutionary was its decentralization. So its decentralization is its primary value proposition, as in first value proposition. The rest of the altcoins, not one of them can say that. Not one altcoin can say that their primary value proposition is decentralization. They can say that they are doing something in a decentralized fashion, but the primary value proposition is not decentralization. The primary value proposition on Ethereum is to be able to be a foundational level, a layer one, that you can use to build decentralized applications. And yes, those decentralized applications are hopefully decentralized. Ethereum is decentralized to a certain degree, but the value proposition is building the apps, not the decentralization. The entire reason that people buy Bitcoin is because it's decentralized and because the currency is set up in such a way that is unhackable, and the coin economics are unchangeable. They've been hard-coded and pre-programmed since the beginning of the cryptocurrency, since the Genesis block through the halvings. That's the primary value proposition of Bitcoin. Bitcoin, therefore, is one of the only cryptocurrencies in the entire space where its primary value proposition is something that can only be accomplished through cryptographic technology. You can build most of Ethereum without a decentralized blockchain. You just build it on a centralized server somewhere. Of course, it would lose its decentralization. It'd be just like Apple. It'd be just like IBM, whatever. But you could build the same end product without decentralization. You cannot build the same end product without decentralization with Bitcoin, because if it was not decentralized, then somebody, the central authority, would come in and change those token economics. Does that make sense? The only cryptocurrency in the entire industry where its primary value proposition necessitates decentralization, absolutely 100%, it is the primary value proposition of that cryptocurrency is Bitcoin. It's the only one. And so that puts Bitcoin in a league of its own. And so that's one of the reasons why I think it ends up starting bull market so well, because it is the definition of a cryptocurrency. It is the OG cryptocurrency. Nothing else holds a candle to it unless you want to pull Litecoin out and say, look, Litecoin does it. Well, Litecoin is just a copy paste of Bitcoin anyway. It's a hard fork of Bitcoin that was hard forked in 2014, 2013. Check my history there. It's the same cryptocurrency, more or less, just without the adoption, because it's the runner-up, not the original. All of that to say that Bitcoin starts bull markets because it is the cryptocurrency. It is the cryptocurrency. Hear me here. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong intrinsically with altcoins. What I am saying is that if somebody looks at the cryptocurrency space, they're going to look first at Bitcoin, and it will always be that way. It will never change. It will always be that way. I don't believe a flippening will ever happen. I believe it will always be that way. Bitcoin will always be top dog. And this attack from the Securities and Exchange Commission has only solidified my position in that. Because since Bitcoin's primary value proposition is decentralization, and since it is the most and since it is the only truly decentralized cryptocurrency out there, other than anything else that's a copy paste of it, since it is the only truly decentralized, 100% totally decentralized cryptocurrency out there, it is the only cryptocurrency that is completely and totally impervious to SEC attack, because you can't, as far as in the way of them attacking the centralized developmental body behind the cryptocurrency itself. There's a foundation or a company or a corporation or whatever you want to call it behind almost every single other cryptocurrency except for Bitcoin. The SEC can't come after crypto. So when Michael Saylor's talking about how moving into the next bull market, a lot of the confusion and anxiety in the space is going to fall away, the reason that he talks about that, and I agree with him, is because there's a lot of confusion around what are altcoins. Are they securities? Are they not? What's going on here? They're decentralized. Great. We believe they should be classified in their own weight class. They should not, in my opinion, be classified as securities. Instead, they should have their own bucket that they fall into that has its own governing body that is set up by the United States federal government, that is a very laissez-faire governing body, because the cryptocurrency space, while it does need some consumer protections to prevent things like BlockFi and FTX and whatnot, it does need the ability and the free reign to grow and experiment and try new things, because innovation is what drove America to being the to being the largest, most powerful country on the planet. All of that confusion and anxiety that is driving people to be concerned about the altcoins is also at the same time driving them into Bitcoin. It means that the cryptocurrency space is consolidating its support, and by this I don't mean technical analysis support, I mean emotional and financial backing around Bitcoin. That's a trend that will probably continue in proportion to the amount of attack the SEC brings against crypto. If the SEC is labeling dozens at this point, I think it's over 60 different cryptocurrencies in different various court documents as securities, you can expect that at some point the SEC is more than likely going to come for one of those securities, one of those cryptocurrencies that they deem securities. More than likely they're going to come after a Cardano. More than likely they're going to come after maybe an Ethereum. More than likely they might come after a Solana. They might come after a Tron. They might come after a Filecoin. They might come out, whatever it is, they're probably going to try and pick a battle with somebody. You know how I know that? I don't technically know for sure they'll do that, but there is precedent for that. Library and XRP. Who remembers those court cases? You know, the SEC is kind of getting their tail handed to them on a platter, but they still have the emboldened Gary Gensler to lead them, who believes firmly that this is one of the most important things his agency can do. Think about it. How much has the SEC been talked about in the popular media other than them going after the cryptocurrencies? How often do you hear about the SEC other than them going after crypto? Now, we're biased because we're in crypto, so we're going to hear about that. But just take for a second, before you're in crypto, if you're not in crypto, how often did you really hear about the SEC? Not very often, right? Because the rest of the markets that are securities, it's pretty boring. They follow the rules, and if they don't, then there's an enforcement action, and blah, fine. This is new territory for the SEC, so they're very, very interested in cryptocurrencies. And so if they come after those other altcoins, you can believe that whatever altcoin it is going to drop off the face of the planet. But the people that were in that altcoin are probably not going to be discouraged from crypto. They're probably going to be discouraged from that cryptocurrency itself as the SEC is attacking it. And where are they going to move their money? They're going to move it into Bitcoin. You know why? The reason they're going to move it into Bitcoin is because they are still cryptocurrency enthusiasts. They just don't want to lose 75% of their value on that investment. Even if they love the project, they can stand back and say, okay, I'll help you fight this battle, but I can't just go lose $75,000 just because I believe in the project. I got to preserve my wealth and then use that wealth maybe to donate or something to help the project, but they have to preserve that wealth. And where are they going to put it? If they're cryptocurrency enthusiasts, they're not going to take it completely out of the space. They're going to put it into Bitcoin because Bitcoin is impervious against SEC attack, at least in the way that all the other altcoins are not. Of course, the SEC could try and blanket ban the Bitcoin trading. The problem is that the SEC, even if they did label it as a security and tried to blanket ban it, I do believe the SEC would need an act of Congress to permanently ban Bitcoin and cryptocurrency trading in this nation of ours. So, why is so much institutional interest coming into the cryptocurrency space? And why is so much institutional interest staying out of the cryptocurrency space right now? Why is so much dominance flowing into Bitcoin? The reason, I believe, is because institutions are concerned about getting into crypto in general because they hear about the SEC coming after the crypto industry. That being said, the industry executives and the institutional investors and the retail investors that understand cryptocurrency and realize, wait a second, they're coming after all these altcoins, but they're not going to be able to do the same kind of attack against Bitcoin. They're putting money into Bitcoin. And so that's actually why Bitcoin has been faring relatively well over the last couple of days. In fact, if you remember, we talked about yesterday how Bitcoin had lost the level of $26,600 and it needed to recapture it. At this point in time, Bitcoin has rallied above that level to this downtrending level of resistance. This is what I was hoping for yesterday. But as we predicted, even this movement has been very difficult for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is exhausted here. It is getting some support coming from the fact that whenever cryptocurrency is liquidated from another altcoin, a lot of it goes into Bitcoin. But Bitcoin itself is also struggling because the entire cryptocurrency industry is under onslaught. Remember, we call this an ecosystem for a reason. Bitcoin is not just standing alone here. The rest of the altcoins are interoperating and all serving a function in the broader cryptocurrency ecosystem, and Bitcoin does better because the altcoins are there. But make no mistake, everything I just said does not make me a Bitcoin maxi. I believe very strongly in a lot of these projects. I love Cardano. I love Ethereum. I love decentralized identification. I love decentralized ownership. I love fractionalized decentralized ownership and NFTs. I love decentralized exchanges. I think that these are all great technologies. I love blockchain and the amount of data that you can put on a blockchain and secure it forever. There are huge value propositions outside of Bitcoin in the cryptocurrency space. And so when all of those are operating as an ecosystem, Bitcoin benefits because if somebody decides, I'm going to jump into crypto and I'm going to buy Filecoin, or I'm going to jump into crypto, I'm going to buy Ethereum, they're probably also going to buy some Bitcoin. So the altcoin space doing well has led to benefit in the Bitcoin space too. And so when we're looking at Bitcoin rallying, we can see one of two things, and they almost seem to contradict, but I don't think they actually do. If the altcoin space is suffering, then in a way, short term, that may actually lead to a rally on Bitcoin because much of the money coming out of those altcoins will probably go into Bitcoin. On the flip side, if the altcoins are doing well, there's also a little bit of a bullish sentiment from that too. And that is that if the altcoins are doing well, then people are probably going to put money into Bitcoin also. So those two things sound like they contradict, but they don't because they're operating on two different theories. The idea being that if people take money out of the altcoins, they're probably going to put it into Bitcoin, at least some of it, maybe not all of it, but some of it. If they put any money into crypto at all, then they're probably going to put some into Bitcoin too. And that's where Bitcoin has been able to maintain a lot of its value. Bitcoin is kind of above a lot of this fight, and a lot of this damage that is taken has been a struggle as a result of the onslaught against cryptocurrency broadly. But what we're likely to see happen here is we're likely to see this trend continue. Ever since FTX melted down last year on November 8th, when Bitcoin was at 38.62% market dominance, Bitcoin has gained 10% in market dominance. I believe that trend is set to continue. And it would make sense, too, from a cyclical point of view. If you look back here to April of 2019, you can see Bitcoin's market dominance went on a run from 51.76% all the way up to the highest that it had been in a long time, nearly 70%. And that run coincided with the pre-halving phase, the pre-halving phase of the bull market, right in this box right here. Bitcoin was going on a major run, and then right around here, this is when the dominance started taking off on Bitcoin. Bitcoin outran the altcoins. Bitcoin led the rally. Then it would go on to lead the rally again in 2020 and 2021. I would not be at all surprised to see something similar happen here, where exiting money coming out of the altcoins actually fuels Bitcoin's sustenance here and keeps it above 25,236, or at least tries to. Remember what we talked about yesterday, guys, because we're kind of talking about the bullish side for Bitcoin today. We talked about the bearish side yesterday. The bulls really need to be able to hold 25,236. But if Bitcoin is able to hold 25,236, I would not be surprised if it were at the expense of the altcoins. You could even get yourself into this situation where Bitcoin is rallying while total market capitalization is dropping, which is kind of what we're seeing happen to some degree right now. Not quite, but it's close. where the altcoin exodus could be flowing straight into Bitcoin. Like, for example, when you see Cardano dropping because it was labeled a crypto security, 33% in 15 days, where do you think that money went? I mean, keep in mind, guys, that's not a little amount of money. That is, what, $15 billion in market capitalization just gone? Maybe not 15, excuse me, about $4 or $5 billion in market capitalization gone. Where'd it go? You know, a few $billion, though, it probably went into Bitcoin because people that are exiting Cardano are like, okay, Cardano's my risk-on asset. Bitcoin's going to be my risk-off asset in the broader context of cryptocurrency being risk-on in general. And so I think that's where you're seeing this bounce come from. I think you're seeing people exiting the altcoin space, putting money into Bitcoin. And so there's kind of a rebalancing act going on right now where you're seeing this exodus from the altcoins, saving money into Bitcoin. So let's talk a little bit about what the Bitcoin market looks like right now in light of all of that, because we have had some progress made overnight. If you'll recall to yesterday's live stream, I discussed how the level at 26,600 was critical and it needed to be broken. Remember how we use the trenches analogy from World War I. We have our trenches right here. 26,600 is a trench. 25,236 is a trench. These are defensible positions for the bulls or the bears. You may think, oh, Jeb, look, we broke through 25,236 and we're above it, or we broke above 26,600 and we're on the other side of it right now. That means we recaptured the trench, right? Well, the tricky thing is that when you capture a trench, you have to dig in a little bit. You have to kind of retool it to face the other direction. I mean, think about it. If you're in World War I and you've got a trench network, you're going to have wooden barricades, you're going to have sniper towers, you're going to have different dugouts, you're going to have different artillery positions that are behind that are all faced in one direction towards the enemy. If somebody comes and takes that trench, then the trench is facing the wrong way. It takes some time to rebuild that thing to face the other way, right? I hope that makes sense. And so that's kind of what Bitcoin's having to go through right now. Bitcoin has theoretically broken above 26,600, but that trench is not very defensible right now because it's facing the wrong way. All of those defensive fortifications are facing towards your back. They're not very useful right now. You need to build the thing. You need to retool the thing in a way that they can be held. And the evidence of that shows very clearly through the analogy here on May 12th and here on May 25th. The Bitcoin bears broke briefly through 26,600, but they did not manage to stay there because they weren't able to retool that trench in time. They were not able to, in layman's terms, establish it as a strong level of resistance that the bears could then use to hit their head on and then push down towards 25,236. It took the SEC news coming out to do just that. Similarly, that we were not really able to break through the bottom in these two cases, Bitcoin is going to need to prove that it can break through the top here and is going to run into a lot of trouble because Bitcoin's also hitting this huge downtrending level of resistance. And just so you know, no technical analyst is going to miss this. This is like the most obvious trend line that you could possibly find on the Bitcoin 4-hourly chart. Every single trader is aware of this trend line, and every single one of them is aware of its significance. That downtrend defines the correction that we've seen of 20% or so over the last 2 to 3 months. Breaking above that, therefore, is going to be difficult. You're not going to find a lot of experienced and veteran traders entering a buy position in this area, considering how much bearishness is going on in the cryptocurrency space and considering that Bitcoin, despite all of that bearishness, has actually already run 9.5% in 4 days. You're going to find a lot of traders being very hard-pressed to put buy orders in right here, which means you're not going to find the lift to keep the market above that level, and you could very easily see a drop below. That being said, if Bitcoin does break above this downtrend, you're probably going to find plenty of buy orders, i.e. bullish strength, sitting at 27.3, 27.5. If we do break up here, this is where people are going to enter trades. So if you want to be on the winning side of history on this trade, here's what you can do. If Bitcoin does break above this downtrend, because ultimately we can predict all day what the market's going to do, but just be ready for both trades and then take the one that shows its face, right? Be an opportunist, not just saying, oh, I predict it's going to go up. If it goes down, I can't do anything. No, be ready for that too. If the market does break above this downtrend, then a trade right in this area around 27.1 to 27.4, however exactly you want to set it up, would be an order. If you see the market break above this level in a big way, and then we see large volume, remember we want to see big volume coming in to confirm breakouts. We saw big volume right here. This confirmed this breakout. If we see big volume coming in, that shows that there's a lot of fighting. It's not just like, oh, they push through this line. That, you know, think about it like this. Big volume, basically, to use that kind of war analogy, big volume, high volume, large volume, whatever you want to call it, is almost like, yeah, if there's very low volume, it's almost like, let's say, the Russians push through this area of territory and there's like one dude defending it, like big whoop. They beat, like, there's one guy there defending it. That's not a lot of volume. There's not a lot of conflict there. They send 1,000 tanks through and there's one dude defending it. Duh, they're going to break through that, right? But if you've got 100,000 men on this side, 100,000 men on that side, and they go at it and they duke it out, and then one wins decisively, then you know, well, they put up about as big a fight as they possibly could, and the attacker still won. That's where having large volume is helpful, because it basically shows that there was a lot of fighting, and this is a real victory. It's not just that we pushed through some line that didn't really matter. There was no defenses there. It's, no, we pushed through their strongest point, and we still broke it. That's where high volume comes into play. So if you have that large volume coming in when Bitcoin breaks above this downtrending level of resistance, then wonderful. That's where you may enter a trade. Again, probably 27,000 at the lowest. Depending on when it's broken, 27K would be below the trend line right now. It'll be above it here in a couple of days, or even just later on. Yeah, here in a couple of days. But if we break above this here in the next 3 to 7 days and we get large volume, an entry price around 27.2, something like that, would be potentially quite profitable. I could see Bitcoin, if it breaks above that level, attempting to rally back up towards our previous local high at 28,545. So an entry price, let's say 27,250, pretty conservative stop loss, maybe right above 27, and then a target maybe up at 28,250. That'd be a 4.3 risk to reward ratio. Remember, there is a very critical level of resistance at 28,545 too. It's very possible that Bitcoin could break here, attempt to rally all the way up to 28,545, hit its head, and come back down because of the major amounts of bearishness in the cryptocurrency space right now. So that's where Bitcoin could go through a rally. That's not really what it's shaping up to do right now. Right now, Bitcoin has put a shooting star formation in play. Then it put a spinning top formation in play. So the shooting star indicated that this uptrend should be over. The spinning top indicated indecision about whether this uptrend would continue. So those are two. One of those is a neutral. One of those is an uncertain candlestick. One of them is a bearish candlestick. We then saw a hammer that indicated, no, actually, we'll bottom here and go up. And then that got contradicted with a big red candlestick. So these last four candlesticks are about as bearish as you can get them. Like, literally, the last four candlesticks here on the 4-hourly chart don't get much more bearish than that. So the question that Bitcoin's going to have to ask now is, can it hold this new trench that it just took, this new metaphorical trench, this new support level at 26,600 or not? And it makes sense because it's also sitting on the 200 4-hourly exponential moving average, which has played a pretty important role over the course of the last several months of price action. You can see we used it as support here, resistance here, used it as support here. We bounced off of it here briefly, resistance there, used it as resistance and resistance there. You can see it's got a lot of touches on. It's a pretty important support trend, support moving average. So it would not be at all surprising to me to see Bitcoin having to hold that fast. If Bitcoin's able to hold above 26,600 for a few days, that's where we may start getting more. That's where we may start having more bearish, more bullish machinations, more bullish thoughts. But for the time being, Bitcoin really needs to prove itself to me by breaking that downtrending level of resistance. Now, lastly, let's go ahead and take a look at Lux Algo. I want to show you guys what it is doing because I'm pretty excited about Lux Algo. One of the things that it has shown that I showed you yesterday is it showed this blue X, which indicated to take some profits out of the buy signal. By the way, this blue X does not mean exit your trade. That's not what that means. It means that it's a time to consider taking some profits. And if you took some profits on the trade, you would have done very well here on Lux Algo. This buy signal would have given you 5.48%. Now, the thing to keep in mind is the buy signal never actually got confirmed, though. So it would be understandable if you didn't actually trade this buy signal. And even though we've pushed much higher over the last 24 hours than we had yesterday when we were on air, we pushed almost $1,000 higher, up 3.5%. This buy signal still has not confirmed. That means two things. Number one, that means that if we break this downtrend, it probably will confirm, which would be great, because last time we saw a really strong confirmed buy signal was back over here. We saw one right here, but we wouldn't have entered that for a few different reasons, mainly because we dropped, like we just started a crash like the day after, the candlestick after. This buy signal was kind of helpful, but it didn't have a lot of support from the other technical analysis. The last time we had a really strong buy signal come into play was right here, and then the one before that was back here. This buy signal obviously did very well. And then this one right here, these buy signals obviously did very well. So we do want to pay attention to the buy signals on Bitcoin that get confirmed. If this does get confirmed, because we break up to the mid 27,000s, we get the trend catcher turning green. And by the way, if you go into Lux Algo, you can make sure your trend catcher is turned on right here. Go to inputs, trend catcher. That is that right there. As you can see, it'll disappear because I turned it off. And then if we just turn it back on, TradingView wants to give me trouble here. I don't know if it'll let me turn it back on. Okay, give me 1 second. I will refresh the page. But the point is, if ever we see Bitcoin break above 27,000, or if we do relatively soon, I'm sure we will eventually. If we break above 27,000 relatively soon, then we will more than likely see that trend catcher turn green. And that'll definitely be another point in favor of the bulls if we break up here. Just keep in mind, though, Bitcoin has hit its bullish price target. Originally, with this X, it hit the very dead smack middle of the take profit, and then with this rally, we hit the top of the take profit. Those are signals that if you were in a long position, you should be taking profits right now, and then if we do have another breakout, then enter another trade. And that lines up with what we were saying. If Bitcoin does break above this downtrend, then yes, potentially enter another trade. For now, though, you probably want to hold off and wait for some more bullishness. All right, so if you have not gotten Lux Algo already, I highly encourage you to sign up for Lux Algo using coupon code JEB30. That's JEBB 30. That will give you 30% off at checkout, and that's 30, by the way, not DHIRTY. It's 30. If you sign up with that coupon code, you're going to get 30% off at checkout for Lux Algo, whether you buy the monthly, the quarterly, or the annual plan. I would recommend getting the annual plan because if you get the annual plan, you will be saving $472 over the course of the first year. It normally costs $818 if you do the monthly plan and you just have that for 12 months. But if you buy it annually, you're already going to save about 40%. And then on top of that, you'll save the 30% from using our coupon code. So you can save almost 70%. I think it's about 65, maybe almost 70% on Lux Algo if you buy it with the annual plan and with our coupon code. It'll take it down from $68 a month to about $28 a month if you average it out over the course of the year. Instead of spending $818, you're going to spend, I think you're going to spend right around $370. And it's going to be so worth it if you're a technical analyst, if you're a trader, because if you're making trades and you make one trade because Lux Algo gave you a good signal, then you could end up making back the entire year's worth of membership in the one trade. And remember, guys, Lux Algo has an incredible track record. I'm watching it bat over the last 2.5, 3 years that I've been using it. I've watched it bat between 80 and 85% accuracy just by using the trend catcher and the buy signals, not even looking at the rest of the indicator, although there's plenty more to the indicator. Just by looking at those two signals, it is given incredible signals. And if you had just traded them blindly, and that's all you did, I don't recommend that, but if you had done that as an experiment, you would be massively in profit. So get Lux Algo, use it today, and basically kind of just make money. It's really very simple to follow. Definitely continue learning everything you need to know about technical analysis and financial sovereignty, but Lux Algo is almost a cheat code to the market because it is just so dang accurate. I am honestly always blown away by how accurate it is. All right, let's read some chat. Really appreciate all of you guys tuning in. Thank you, guys. We're going to read some chat here for the last little bit on the stream, so make sure that if there's anything that you guys would like for me to see or anything you'd like for me to answer, then feel free to go ahead and show me that here in chat. Stocks down, pulling Bitcoin down. Good question. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 4-hourly chart over on the SPY. You can see the SPY actually flashed a confirmed sell signal for the first time in a while on Bitcoin. We had the last time we had a confirmed sell signal on the stock market on the SPY was right here. That confirmed sell signal dropped the SPY by 4.95%. Before that, the last confirmed sell signal confirmed right here dropped the market by 4.73%. Those are some pretty powerful signals on Lux Algo, by the way. You can even see the confirmed buy signal here rallied us 4%. Next confirmed buy signal rallied us about 1.25%. Then the next confirmed buy signal rallied us all the way to where we are right now, 7.6%. This drop has begun for a couple of different reasons. I believe it has a lot to do with the fact that, the stock market's already just rallied so far. I think it is largely a technical correction. But also out here on the daily chart, Lux Algo accurately predicted the take profit down to a T. You can see the last buy signal gave us a take profit with the middle line right here at 443. If you go back and look historically, you can see that didn't reprint. That's what it said originally. Like I said, I'm not on... It's just crazy to me how accurate Lux Algo is. The original take profit for this buy signal was right here at 427. We ended up going up in having a sell signal, and then we had another buy signal. That buy signal gave us a take profit up here at 443. It's exactly where we went to. So I guess you could say U.S. stocks are correcting because Lux Algo said they should. It's almost like whenever I watch a movie, somebody's like, why did they do that? Like, why did that person jump off a bridge? I don't know. And I'll just say, because, you know, I'm dad. So I'm a dad of 2 children. So I got those dad jokes on lock. And, you know, dad jokes, you just repeat the same joke 1,000 times, just put in different nouns. So because the director told them to, right? That's my dad joke for a movie. If somebody ever asks me, why did they do that in a movie? I'm going to say, because the director told them to, right? Because I'm just that corny. You know, having 2 children under the age of 3, that'll do that to you because that gets laughs out of them. And it's so just heartwarming to see a 2-year-old laugh at your stupid joke. So why did Bitcoin correct today? Because Lux Algo told it to, right? But other reasons have to do with inflation, have to do with the effective federal funds rate. I mean, I think there's a lot of, I think there's quite a lot of blowback that the stock market's getting right now from the effective federal funds rate, potentially seeing another 50 basis points of rate hikes. That's not doing any favors to the real estate market. That's not doing any favors to the tech stocks that rely on loans and debt to build their business because they're still in that startup phase. And it does bring obviously more concern about a deeper recession in the next few years. So, or even in the next 6 to 12 months, even I should say. So the stock market having a correction makes a lot of sense, especially considering how much of a rally it's already gone on. Is that impacting Bitcoin? I think so. As I said yesterday, Bitcoin being in a rally, being in a correction despite the stock market and the Dixie moving in the right direction for Bitcoin to have a rally. Let me say that again. The fact that Bitcoin was going down despite the fact that it should be going up because it's positively correlated to the SPY, negatively correlated to the Dixie, showed that the stock market and the Dixie were giving it support, but it wasn't quite enough for the Bitcoin market to, you know, start rallying. It's starting to do that now. However, if the Bitcoin market, as we talked about yesterday, loses the support of the stock market, loses the support of the Dixie, and it can't hold 26,600, that's where you're going to see a precipitous drop down to 25,236, almost definitely. So if it loses a bullish stock market and if it loses a bearish Dixie, Bitcoin is in very, very deep trouble because it's a facade. You ever see a Western movie set where it's got all the buildings, and if you look behind the building, you just got a couple of 2x4s. They're like 12 feet long holding the thing up. That's going to be what the Bulls army looks like. It's going to be like, oh yeah, we got a front. But if you push us, the market's actually just going to crash. And that's my concern about the mass psychology of Bitcoin right now, is that if we do lose the support of a strong stock market, and if we do lose the support of a bearish, of a dropping Dixie, then Bitcoin is really not going to have a whole lot of legs to stand on other than money flowing into it out of the altcoin space. So yes, I do think that a drop on the stock market would definitely have a impact on Bitcoin. Where can I find the coupon for Lux Algo? You just go ahead and here, I'll bring you over to the website and I'll show you myself. Let me just make sure that I'm not showing any credit card information or anything. 1 second. I'll show you how. Give me 1 second. Uno momento, por favor. Thank you. Lux Algo Premium Yearly. And then, yep, here we go. I'll show you guys live how to do this. All right, it'll save you $147 on the annual plan. If you come over to luxalgo.com, go up here. Awesome website, by the way. Pretty cool website just to explore. Hit buy now. You see you have the monthly, the quarterly, and the yearly. Just by doing the yearly plan, you're going to go from $815. I said $818. I'm sorry. $815.88 down to $489.99. That's going to save 40% just by doing the yearly plan, and there is still a 30-day money-back refund guarantee. Hit subscribe. And here you can type in your email. But before you do that, hit this button right here, Lux Algo Premium Yearly. Type in the coupon code JEB30, and I'll just go ahead and type it in as if I'm buying it with. Hit that. That coupon code will save you $147 on the yearly plan. That'll bring the yearly plan to $342.99 instead of spending $815.88 by using the monthly and no coupon code. If you do just want to do the monthly plan, you can go to subscribe, and you're still going to save a bunch of money. You will save by using our coupon code JEB30. Caps lock obviously doesn't matter. You'll save $20.40 a month. $20.40 a month. Goodness gracious. For those of you guys out there that have a budget, you're like, I got $20.40 back. Man, I can watch Disney Plus without ads, or I can watch Netflix without ads now. Right? Because you save that much money. So definitely use the coupon code. If you're able, then, you know, reach for the stars financial sovereignty speaking wise, and go for the quarterly or the yearly, and then just budget it out over the course of the 12 months. Because if you go to the yearly, you subscribe, Hit right here. Use the coupon code. Let's just do some quick maths. Quick maths on my phone. I could probably try and do this in my head, but I'd probably make myself look like a fool. 342.99 divided by 12. That goes down to $28.58 a month from $68 a month. Don't believe me? Boom. You can see it on my calculator right there. There you go. 28.58.25. That's how much it'll be a month if you, by the yearly, average it out over the course of 12 months and use the coupon code. Make sure to sign up for Lux Algo today. You're not going to regret it. All right. BTC down for sure. Definitely not for sure. Definitely not for sure. Robinhood getting rid of crypto. Yep, there are a few news stories like that. Absolutely. Are they ever going to do a lifetime plan ever again? I don't think so. I don't think they will. I don't think they're going to. And the reason for that is because Lux Algo is just such a valuable tool. The people that are using Lux Algo can make hundreds of thousands of dollars because they have it. It's just not feasible for Sean to sell it for $1,000 to $1,200. It's just not worth it for them. I mean, the product is worth more than that. And so, I mean, if they're going to sell it for lifetime, I would recommend them selling it for like $5,000 to $10,000. And if they did charge that much, they would never get anybody to buy it because that's such a high ticket item. It's like buying a car. So the subscription model for Lux Algo, because of how valuable it is kind of the only model that works. Because if they did charge what it was worth on an annual basis, they would probably end up having to charge like 10 grand for it to be worthwhile from a business standpoint, because the people that are using Lux Algo can make hundreds of thousands of dollars with it, millions of dollars with it, by just putting money on those trades that it's giving you. All right, arroz con pollo. Es mi favorita. Sí, I love arroz con pollo. Let's see. Yes. Someone said screw Disney. Yeah. Disney's always in the news lately. Disney's always in the news, getting into something. We didn't lose the trench, you said. That's right. It hasn't happened yet, but I think there is absolutely a concern of that. Am I the only one that lost sound? Lol. Oh, the philosopher. I'm so sorry. I don't think anything happened on our end. Good to see you, though, my friend. Government loves to grow. Give its own agency for crypto. Right, exactly. For sure. That's how we can pitch it. Hey, government, you like to be bigger. Make a new agency. There we go. Government loves doing that. Let's see. All right. Appreciate all of you guys tuning in. Let's see. All right. A lot of people are excited about arroz con pollo. Yes. We, you know that we have a Hispanic in the house. My wife, she's half Puerto Rican. Because we always have adobo and sofrito and sazon, and it's so good. I tell you what, she is so good at cooking. Like, my wife is just incredible at cooking, and so we save a lot of money because just so you know, I'll tell you one more story about financial sovereignty before we wrap it out. One of the dumb things I did before starting down this journey of financial sovereignty, because we kind of created the philosophy and now we're following it at the same time. So we're walking down the philosophy that we invented, and we didn't invent it. We're just translating it from the Bible, actually, because most of it's just biblical financial principles. But before, I would literally get, who knows what BJ's restaurant is? I would literally order BJ's every single day and have it delivered. Not only would I buy restaurant food every day for lunch, I would also have it delivered. So I'd spend like $35 a day on lunch. It was so stupid. Do you know how much money I would have if I just saved that and put that into a savings account that got 5% yield right now? Oh my gosh, we'd have like 10 grand in a savings account, you know, $10,000 more in a savings account, just because I ate a sandwich for lunch, or I ate some of my wife's amazing food. And so I look back on my life, I'm like, man, there's all these places where I was just dumb with money. You know, one thing I did, I remember when I was in second grade, I learned the value of money because, this makes me cringe. Like, I was in second grade, maybe I was in first grade. My dad gave me $5 just in case, because we were going on a field trip. And there was this kid in front of me that just kept saying, give me the $5. I want the $5. I want the $5. He just kept nagging me. He wasn't bullying me or anything. He just kept asking me to give him the $5. And so I was in first grade, and I just like shudder when I tell the story, but I ripped it in half and I threw it out the window of the school bus. And I went home and I told my dad, like, haha, I got that guy. He wanted the $5. And I'm like, and I did that. My dad's like, why would you do that? You just wasted $5. You know, the thing, you're only going to earn so much money in your life, so you better be a good steward of the money that does pass through your hands, because that $5 is never coming back. It's gone for good. You know, you can get out the window, you can tape it up, give it to the bank, they'll replace it, but it's gone because I lost. I wasn't able to find it, right? I didn't have a chance to. Out of school bus when I'm 6. You're never going to get the money that you made back. You can make more money, but you will make a definite amount of money in your lifetime. And if you're a bad steward of it, the bad stewardship is not something that you can fix. You can fix being a bad steward of the money you make in the future, but you can never go back and be a better steward of the money that you already spent poorly. I can never go back in time and unrip that $5 and put it into a savings account and let it grow by 5% a year, because right now it's probably like $20, right? Because that was 17 years ago. So be a good steward of your money today, because you can't ever go back in time to this moment, and be a good steward of it now. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that post notification bell. Make sure to use that coupon code for Lux Algo, because you're just getting free money. Talk about being a wise steward of your money. Go save like 70% on Lux Algo. You will be so glad you did. Use it to make trades, make more money, and continue on that path towards financial sovereignty. I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. Before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.